Hello, welcome to Tesla Jigsaw. Might have some bad news. The EU might vote no to Tesla's FSD moving forward. What does that actually do to the 5 countries that have it? Does Tesla have a backup plan? And would that backup plan make FSD worse? With me to discuss is Graeme. Thanks for joining me, Graeme, of Not An FSD Tracker, an amazing website. Do go over there and check it out. Subscribe to his mailing lists and stuff. Graeme, you've done this brilliant article that we're going to go through and read in a moment, and it sort of covers all of what's going on with this possible EU vote that's happening. It's not been long since you first joined me, and we've first shown your face to the world, the man behind Not An FSD Tracker. So that video went down really well. People loved your insights and your knowledge, going into the thick of it of the data. So thanks again for joining me today. But this is a bit concerning, isn't it? Just before we get into the article.
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know when the vote is. There are timeframes and when it has to, when the vote has to happen. But a lot of people are speculating it's going to be sooner rather than later. But it could be next year. Given the previous meetings, they've been asking for presentations, more information, and that kind of thing. From the requests that I've put in, we've been able to see some of the transcripts of some of those meetings. Kind of, yeah. There's no rush. They're not rushing this. It may not be in a couple of months. It could well be next year, the vote, and it could be a yes. It could be no. We really have no concrete direction just yet, other than what some of the countries have said.
Yeah, and for me, that's becoming ever more tragic as time goes on, because as you know, I've just been across to Amsterdam myself to test full self-driving, had a whole afternoon driving around the chaos of Amsterdam, and it just performed absolutely brilliantly. We've seen since that it's 5.2 times safer than the average driver at the moment. Tesla have gathered 100 million kilometers of FSD data just in Europe alone from those 5 countries since it was approved over there. And globally, Tesla have over 14 billion miles of FSD data to chew through to show these regulators that it's working pretty well. And now I know firsthand from the newest version of version 14 how utterly game-changing it is. It's absolutely brilliant, and I cannot believe we're still looking down the barrel of these massive, there could potentially be very large holdups for FSD. It should be in the hands of everyone by now. And for me, it's like, stopping seatbelts or airbags or automatic emergency braking being rolled out to vehicles. It's that different between night and day in terms of safety, in my humble opinion, of what I've just witnessed myself.
Yeah, I mean, they did lobby against seatbelts when they first were kind of looking to get them introduced. I think I remember reading that somewhere a few years ago. So it is quite kind of interesting how we're kind of back there again. The interesting thing here is obviously with it being like a software thing rather than a hardware thing, the regulations, a lot of these regulations were kind of built for the hardware level. So when it comes to like software that can be modified and taken away or improved over the air, it makes an interesting case when you're reading through some of these regulations, because it doesn't look like they were written that way. Like, for example, if there is a no vote in the EU at the TCMV meeting, which maybe it's this year, then the regulations say that cars that are already have the technology can maintain it, because they were created or sold whilst that technology was under a type approval, like even if it was a temporary one. Yeah. So the thing is, though, with software is it can be taken away. There's a bit of uncertainty whether it will be taken away or not. I think maybe the regulations say it can be kept, but I suspect Tesla might just take it away just out of caution. But it is really honestly up to interpretation. People have different thoughts on this.
Let's read through all your points, because I thought it was brilliantly written, and you did confirm beforehand it's not written by AI, ladies and gents. No, this is Graham's hard work. He's been accused of it.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Yeah, the AI is not that great at digesting and putting together things like this just now.
Yeah, of course. Right, let's go through it then. So this is the first post. FSD in Europe, what happens if the EU votes no? Number 1, a no vote does not instantly turn FSD off. In the Netherlands, it does something arguably worse. The 5 countries that already have it get frozen, and the approval they are using starts a countdown clock.
Yeah, so if it's a no vote at the meeting, then there's like a 6-month period where the countries are informed that it's effectively the type approvals repealed, and it cannot be used any further going forward. So that's kind of what the countdown clock is.
Number 2, FSD Supervise is live for customers in the 5 EU countries. We know that. Those 5 are not on a permanent EU approval. They use Dutch Article 39 type approval. That certificate is national but temporary. Brussels has not said yes. This is what the vote is about.
Yeah, so they used the RDW type approved the technology under an exemption, which is what Article 39 is. It allows an exemption if there's no current legislation allowing the technology. They can use Article 39 for a temporary exclusion and authorize it under that exclusion, but it's only valid for, I think, 3 years, something along those lines.
The TCMV, which is the Technical Committee on Motor Vehicles, I assume you're not referring to the tomato chlorotic mottle virus.
Correct, yes.
That would be right. Okay, so
it's an EU thing, this as well. It doesn't include the UK.
Right, yeah, okay. The vote is the EU deciding whether the Dutch certificate becomes valid across the whole EU. There is still no official vote date, though some speculate October. I think you corrected this to 2026.
Yes, it's
later in the article, didn't you? So, yeah, some speculate that the vote's going to be at the end of this year. If the vote is a no, people who already have FSD in those 5 countries should keep what they have, but FSD rollouts stop for new subscribers. So a no vote...
That's the sticking point there, Will, is I say should, not will, because I'm not 100% on that.
Right.
They will be able to keep it for up to 6 months for sure. What happens after that is going to be a little bit of word engineering, I think, on the regulations.
So that would be the removal of software at that point. There would be
potentially, yeah, that's the risk. Yeah, that's
okay.
The risk. Yeah.
So a no vote leaves the EU in a worse place than today, and Tesla has to submit a new type approval. But what about the UNECE? Indeed, what about the UNECE? That's the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, who are in control of this sort of stuff. Some good news is that UN Regulation 171 Series 2 takes effect in late January 2027. One type approval under those rules can then cover the UK, the EU, and the other UNECE countries. But the catch? Those regulations need FSD to undergo some modifications, mostly around hands-on requests, requirements on urban roads. Every 5 seconds, the car needs to remind you to keep the hands on the wheel. This would be pretty tragic, in my view.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit to expand on there, actually. It's not, just to clarify, someone did mention this, that maybe it isn't exactly correct, or I haven't fully explained it. It's probably the better way of saying it. On urban roads, which are over 10 kilometers an hour, on urban roads, so not motorways or highways, you do need to keep your hands, you need to keep effectively touching the wheel like autopilot to prove that you're able to take over in those more complicated environments. The request comes after 5 seconds of not touching the wheel, but that's only if you're not looking ahead at the road. So if you're looking ahead at the road, it's actually delayed for another 5 seconds if the manufacturer chooses to do so. So it might, if you're looking ahead, it's probably more likely 10 seconds, which is far more digestible. It allows you to get round a roundabout or make a turn without you having to kind of hold the wheel, you know.
That would be crazy to interfere with the steering wheel whilst it's taking over those manoeuvres.
Yes.
So it wouldn't necessarily reset every 5 seconds and keep your hands off the wheel. You would have to touch it at some point still, you think? Yeah,
within the 10 seconds, if you're looking ahead, you would need to maintain... there would be a hands-on request within those 10 seconds. There's a further allowance to do that before it starts a disengagement process.
I sincerely hope that they don't have anything like that. If it's just eyes on the road, then fair enough. You know, if it's more vigilant about you watching the road, I'm all for that. But if it's actually having to touch the steering wheel at any time during driving on FSD, I think that's definitely a touch too far.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting to note that this was how America rolled it out. They had quite aggressive hands-on requests when they first rolled it out on their roads. So if we do apples to apples, it's not too bad. I think 10 seconds having your hands on your lap, just doing an autopilot style, I'm here kind of thing, is better than not having anything at all. And these regulations do evolve every year or so. There'll be a new series. There'll be Series 3. And let's just hope that takes away the requirement on urban roads. On motorways, as I said, there is no hands-on request requirement. The system can do system-initiated maneuvers too, so it can do all the overtakes. Or even on urban roads, it'll be able to go around cars, take roundabouts, do junctions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm just thinking though, if you are in city streets and you're going around multiple roundabouts and it's taking more than 10 seconds and you're moving and the steering wheel's moving, there's no good place to interfere with that. You don't want to be touching the steering wheel at all during those maneuvers. That to me would seem dangerous. But
it's going to be. I think Tesla are going to intelligently work within these rules. So hands-on request, if they can like have more torque sensitivity, so it is literally you've brushed your hand against the wheel, it's just detected enough friction or torque, that's enough,
Yeah. It's just these silly interferences, like the system-initiated maneuvers. I don't like any of them at all. No one who uses it likes it. They find it more dangerous than the actual software itself just doing its job. Just let it be.
Exactly. That's how it should be. I think we just need to be a little grateful that we're going to get something, hopefully. But it's not ideal. It's far from ideal.
I don't want gratefulness at the moment. What I want is exactly what I tried in Amsterdam, because it was flawless, and that is the thing that needs to be rolled out to everyone, not some flipping stifled version of it that's going to make it more dangerous or more frustrating to use, like all the autopilot nonsense we've got in this country. But maybe I'm dreaming too big there of
It'll happen
EU
eventually.
regulation.
Yeah, whether Tesla go for individual country type approval, a little bit like the exemptions, get the UNECE stuff in, have a regulation that covers 60 countries, and then start going to each one and say, would you mind if we did a modification, do an exemption, and do that at each country? That would work.
Yeah. Yes, so that's the more hopeful path that we can take. So a no vote in the EU is not the end of the world necessarily. Are you sure? But it would mean the next step would be for Tesla to modify FSD in a way that makes it a bit worse, as we were just discussing. And finally, number 10, I track all the regulation changes and rollouts globally. Get the weekly newsletter for updates. And there you are. Do make sure to go and follow Not An FSD Tracker. Wonderful work there, Graeme. Thanks for putting all that together. When do you think this is all going to start taking place?
I think we might have a vote towards the end of the year. I'm leaning more towards early next year for this vote. If you look at the history of when these things have happened in the past, it's usually more than just a few months between a vote either way and when the exemption was put in place. They do work slowly, these countries. There's a lot of people are very irritated by the delays we've had so far and are now optimistic. But we have to be very cautious with being too optimistic, because then we start blaming perhaps the manufacturer or other things when it's actually not really there.
You was the big getting people too excited.
Yes.
It wasn't me. Yeah. It was those other people I interviewed.
I tried to make it level. I get a bit of heat for that, but I try and be realistic. And so far, the dates on the tracker have been reasonably accurate because of the lack of optimism. We will see how it all pans out. I'm very happy to be wrong if things happen earlier, for sure.
I was speaking to Tesla UK recently on my trip to Amsterdam. They don't they haven't given me any extra information that I can share or that I can talk about or anything even to keep secret. But they don't, I don't think they mind me saying that they still seem very optimistic that things are going in the right direction. They're not all like, oh, there's no way it's coming. It's, they're working on it, believe me, as fast as they can. And, reminded of the RDW, the fact that they were working pretty much in secret for 18 months. No one knew anything about it. That could well be happening right here in the UK. And they're just following the path of least resistance, I suppose. So is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up then, Graeme?
No, really. I say just keep an eye out on the website and on Twitter. Somebody's going to be all over this soon as it comes out. If you're in a country where Tesla is selling vehicles, especially like the UK, do FOI requests. Just put a little bit of pressure on. We did that. The RDW people did that overwhelmingly to the RDW, and to the point where they said, please stop asking us and thanking us for doing this, But it gets noticed, and I think it's not going to do any harm if people are a bit more vocal about what they want. We do live in democracies, so let's ask questions and maybe speak to your minister and see if they can raise it and things like this. So awareness is always good, and especially for stuff like this, that's going to have a huge safety impact over the long term on our roads.
Yeah, absolutely. Good advice. Get involved if you can. And be sure to go and follow Graeme at Not An FSD Tracker on X and everywhere else and sign up to his mailing list. If you missed my little series of traveling on FSD version 14 in Amsterdam, then here's the playlist that's going to take you to all of my videos. So do go and check that out next. Thank you very much for joining me, Graeme. I'm Will. This is the Tesla Jigsaw. Thank you, patrons. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.